The member for Melbourne.
Mr Speaker, power prices are going up, and it's no coincidence that it happens at the same time as the companies that run our electricity network and that generate our electricity and that sell it to us are making monster profits. Last year, power bills went up 12.4% from December 2016 to 2017, according to the ABS. It's no coincidence that the biggest power company in the country made a profit over that period of $622 million for the 6 months ended 31 December 2017, an increase of 91% on the corresponding period. We have taken a public good, electricity, that was built by the public and should be there as a basic public service, and we've handed it over to big companies who are making monster profits, and as a result consumers are getting fleeced. People are being conned. And as big power companies make these monster profits, it comes at the expense of people not only through higher power bills, but in my state of Victoria, 30,000 Victorian households had their electricity switched off. How is it that a company can make $622 million in 6 months while thousands of people have their power disconnected for not being able to afford to heat their homes in winter? And the poles and wires that distribute the electricity to us across the country, the companies that own those, one of whom is registered in the Cayman Islands, made $27.5 billion profit over 4 years. That's billion with a B. Now, why is this happening? I'll tell you why it's happening. Because over decades, Liberal and Labor have turned electricity from a public good into a market. And when you turn an essential service into a market and introduce the profit motive, people get fleeced. Because it's not like you've got a choice as to which set of poles and wires you're going to use. It's not like there's any difference between electrons as they flow down and power your home. It's the same product, and when we allow big companies to make money out of ordinary people will suffer. Well, the Greens are standing up to privatisation. And earlier this month we announced a policy to start bringing the grid back into public hands, to be run in the public interest. And last year we called for the re-regulation of retail prices, where the price would rise with average wage growth. It is time to stand up to the big companies and Labor and Liberal who are backing them and start to re-regulate electricity prices and start treating electricity as a public good again. Mr Speaker, the Adani Carmichael's mine's environmental impact statement says that it will produce over 200 million tonnes of CO2 over the 60-year life of the mine. That's from the gases that escape during the mining process and from the emissions created from mining and transporting the coal alone. And according to Greenpeace, burning this coal will generate around 130 million tonnes of CO2 every year, equivalent to about 1/4 of Australia's total emissions. But we know this. We know this about the Adani mine too, that it's a climate disaster and that it will destroy the Great Barrier Reef, because even as the Environment Minister was forced to admit the other day, climate change is the biggest threat to the reef. And it will not employ the tens of thousands of people that are referred to. It will employ 1,464, according to Adani's own figures. Why? Because Adani says they want to automate it from pit to port. They want to automate it. So the question is, if you seriously believe in climate change, how can you possibly back Adani? You can't say, I love to eat healthy food and then stuff yourself full of fairy floss. You have a choice, either the reef or Adani. We can't have both. Either a safe climate or Adani. We cannot have both. We have to stop Adani. And there's one way that Adani could be stopped now. We could have a Prime Minister and a government that had the courage to override a rogue Labor state government, but we know that the Liberals are beholden to the coal industry. What could we do instead? We could do what happened during the Franklin Dam campaign and hear a Labor opposition stand up once and for all and say, we will not allow the Adani mine to go ahead. If Labor stood up now from the opposition benches and said that, the project would be killed stone dead. But so far Labor has failed this test and is attempting to have a bet each way. And people will soon be able to pass a judgment on that, because in Batman people have a choice. People have a choice between a party that has led the campaign in this parliament against this ticking climate time bomb or a party that is trying to have a bet both ways. Labor, it is time to get off the fence, and voting for the Greens and Alex Patel in the seat of Batman is the best way to send a message and stop the Adani coal mine.